Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is my 18 to 22 week pregnancy update. So, fun fact, I just recorded this whole video and realized that my microphone turned off, so I'm quickly re-recording it for you. So, I think the last one was actually really long, so I'm glad that I have another chance to kind of sum up the information probably much more quickly and efficiently than my last video that I just recorded and had to delete. So the baby has grown so much in the last 4 weeks. She's gained so much weight. At week 18, she was 8 ounces. And at week 22, she was 1 pound, 1 ounce. So that's a lot of growth. And she's, it's getting really real now that she's hit the pound mark, and it's only going to get bigger from here. I can't even believe that she's going to gain like 5, 6, 7, hopefully not more than 7 more pounds, but somewhere around there. It's just crazy how big she's actually going to get. If you see me looking down, it's because I have all my notes on here from the last 4 weeks. So I will start with week 18. Week 18, I had a sonogram at 18 weeks and 4 days. The baby weighed 8 ounces. The heartbeat was 141. And they had told me that my marginal placenta previa that I had mentioned in the last video had moved off my cervix and was now just considered a low-lying placenta, which is good news that it was moving. You know what I mean? Like, if it was moving the other way, I would have been guaranteed a C-section. So I'm glad that a natural birth is still an option. My goal is a natural unmedicated birth if I can do it, but I'm also flexible. Like, if I'm in a ton of pain, I'm not going to torture myself, but it's one of those things that I'd like to try and see if I can do. So we'll see. Week 19, nothing really notable or new. Week 20 was my big anatomy scan. I was really excited and really nervous for this scan because I think my midwife said they check 32 different things, and they have to look in detail at the heart, the kidneys, stomach, the brain. They count all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. They make sure that, the baby is healthy. And I feel like they basically look at your baby with like a microscope to make sure all the parts are normal and everything's working okay. And it just is a lot to, think about and worry about. And I think it's pretty standard that most OBs and midwives, they send you to a perinatologist or maternal fetal medicine for this scan, because it's a level 2 sonogram, which I think is, I'm not sure, but I think it just means it's like a more powerful sonogram and they, more detailed. So I went in at 20 weeks and I went to a maternal fetal medicine center to see a perinatologist. And the appointment was we were there for probably like 3 hours. So I made an early morning appointment thinking we'd be in and out. And I told my husband it was a really important appointment, that he had to be there. So he made sure he didn't work that day. I felt so bad. So I think our appointment was at like 9:15 in the morning. We get there. I think we waited like an hour and a half to be seen, which I'm totally fine. I'm one of those people at doctor's offices. I'm totally fine sitting, being patient, waiting, because I get it. People have emergencies. It's, these women are having children. They're having babies. I'm sure there's complications or, people going into labor. I totally get it. I'm, really calm when it comes to waiting at doctor's offices. I've never been, it's not fun to wait, but I've always been pretty patient with that. But my husband, on the other hand, I think we waited like an hour and a half. I don't know if I just said that or not, but we waited like an hour and a half to be seen, and then they called only me back at first. So they needed to get like my vitals, my weight, all my medical history, like as much as I know. And it was like really in depth with the medical information. She was asking me like just like every symptom you could ever possibly imagine. And when you see those commercials for like side effects, or are you feeling this, and this, and you're like, well, I think I've had a headache, I think I've had a little bit of nausea, like all these different things. So I was trying to give her as much information as possible without being like, I was trying to give her as much information as possible without being like a weirdo about it, like without being like, yes, I have that symptom, yes, I have that symptom, because you have to pick and choose. You don't have all of these symptoms. Sorry, my microphone's doing something, and I'm making sure it's still recording because I will cry if it turns off again. So we waited an hour and a half. I went back, got my vitals done. Then they finally brought us into the sonogram room. And the sonogram took about a half hour, I would say, the whole sonogram. The sonogram tech was so nice. They're not really allowed to tell you anything. They're not allowed to say, like, if something's normal, if it's not normal, like they're not really allowed to say anything, only the doctor is. But she was really nice to like tell me like, okay, now you're looking at the hands, now you're looking at the feet, like this is the stomach, this is the brain, like at least so I knew what I was looking at, because sometimes it just looks like a gray blob and you can't really tell. I mean, So I felt really bad for our sonogram tech because our baby is a mover. Like ever since I had my first sonogram around 6 or 8 weeks, like I remember they put the little wand on the baby, and the baby was literally swimming away from wherever they were trying to get an image of it. And I knew I was in trouble from that point, and she's just been a mover ever since. Like she loves to move around. She doesn't like to stay still. So this poor sonogram tech is trying to count fingers, count toes, look at the nose, look at the face, and all of these things. And literally we got one hand, and then the other hand was tucked behind the baby's head. And then they got her to roll over, and then I think she tucked it back again. So she was just like laying like this, kicking around. And then they finally got all 10 fingers, all 10 toes. I was very relieved about that. And everything looked great, which I was so relieved about. They checked, the umbilical cord. They checked so many different things. So they finished the sonogram. Then the maternal fetal medicine doctor, the perinatologist, whatever you want to call it, he came in. He was so nice. I had never met him before. And he didn't really go over anything with me. He just said, everything looks good. And I mean, that's good enough for me. And then he tried to get a 3D image of her face. I'll put a picture in right here, or here. But she wouldn't stay still. So it's basically like a blurry, her hands in her face, it's blurry. And, they tried, which was really cute. But, she's just a mover. Another thing that we've noticed at every appointment, every sonogram we've had, she's always sucking her thumb. My husband sometimes bites his nails. I don't know if she's getting that from him, but she always has her hand in her mouth or, something like that. She's always sucking on her thumb, which is really cute. But that's just something I noticed. So they did note, at my 20-week sonogram, I still had a low-lying placenta. And it's standard at this office for everyone to come back 32 weeks. So I will be going back at 32 weeks to make sure my placenta is completely out of the way and that I can have a normal natural delivery, and they'll check the baby over one more time. And that might be one of the last important visits I have before I give birth. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I like to, sometimes pregnancy feels like it takes forever. So I like to just take it appointment by appointment. So I'm like, okay, I have that appointment in, 10 more weeks, or that appointment in, whatever. So it breaks it down for you so it's a little bit more doable. Week 21, I woke up and I was a little bit nervous because I started having these not sharp, but little jolts of pain really down low. And I was just monitoring it. I wasn't going to call my doctor yet or anything. It wasn't alarming. It wasn't cramping. And what I realized, because I was feeling kicks up really high, so she was head down. And what I realized when I Googled it, which, I try not to Google things, but this I just wanted to Google. And I realized that she was punching me in my cervix. So there is a term for it. I forget what it's called, but it was quick little jolts, every time she would move her hands or move her arms, and it really hurt. So what I read to do is kind of to get the baby to move, I got on all fours and kind of swayed back and forth for a little bit, and I think that moved her because then she stopped punching me in the cervix. And then so 22 weeks, I just had an appointment about 2 days ago. I was 22 weeks 4 days, and today I'm 23 weeks. So at my appointment, the baby weighs at 22 weeks 1 pound 1 ounce. She's hit the pound mark. She's getting big. They did say that they are considering her breech again. She was breech at week 16, 18, she was back to head down, 20, she was still head down. Now at 22, they're technically calling it breech, but technically what she is transverse, meaning here's her feet, here's her head. She's basically just laying sideways in my uterus. And it's actually pretty funny because I've been feeling movement on both sides. I'll feel kicks over here and then punches over here. So it's at the same time. And I know that she can't, physically flip that quickly. So I guess that's why I've been feeling movement on both sides. But it's actually really cute. She is moving literally all the time. For the past, I want to say 3 or 4 days, it has been nonstop movement. She's always kicking me, always punching me, but it's just so cute that it doesn't bother me. I like to feel the movement and know that she's okay, and she's happy and kicking and living her life. At this appointment, they also told me that I no longer have a low-lying placenta. So my placenta has gone from a marginal placenta previa, and it's moved off my cervix. It was low-lying, and the sonogram tech, my midwife said the sonogram tech didn't make any notes about it being low-lying anymore, so we're assuming it's not low-lying anymore, because she would have noted if it was. So I'm really relieved that it's moving up and out of the way, and I hope it continues to move up to where like the optimal position is by the end of this all. So my placenta is also posterior. So they say if your placenta is posterior, you feel a lot more movement because there's no barrier in between, where the baby's kicking and your stomach. But if you have an anterior placenta, which means it's in the front, it's kind of like a pillow, so you feel less movement. But because mine's posterior, I'm feeling everything. I was lucky enough that at 20 weeks, my husband was able to put his hand on my stomach and he could feel kicks at 20 weeks, which is really early. And then at 21 weeks, I was able to see, if I looked down at my stomach, the baby was kicking so hard that I could actually see my stomach moving. So that was actually, it's just really cool because of like where my placenta is located. I can feel more and see more, and I don't know, it's just reassuring. I'm sure I won't be happy about it in 10 weeks when those kicks and punches get even stronger, but for now, I'm happy about it. I have been having really crazy dreams. Most of them are really bad dreams. I think as, the pregnancy progresses and, it's getting closer to the due date, I think you start having a lot of thoughts and a lot of anxiety, and, you just start, I don't know, just thinking of all these different aspects of life and, finances and, getting everything together and getting all the stuff for the baby. And like, it just starts becoming really real. So I think that's what's influencing my crazy dreams, but they're like very vivid. Like the other night I woke up crying, like, when you wake up crying, like from a dream, and it just like, it's ridiculous. I have, ever since 21 weeks, started getting really bad backaches when I sleep. I'm trying to lay on my left side as much as possible when I sleep, but because they say that's like the optimum side to sleep on, but I do alternate between left and right side. I miss sleeping on my back, but you're not supposed to because the pressure of the uterus can constrict an artery or a vein or something, so I try not to. And I've been trying to sleep with like a pillow in between my legs, and I've been trying everything, but my back just hurts. I'm starting to get uncomfortable because my belly's getting bigger, and it's becoming, a little more difficult. I have my glucose test in, I think, 2.5 or 3 weeks. So that's my next appointment that I'm up against. I heard it was awful, but I've also heard from other people that they liked it and the drink tasted fine. And I just really hope I pass because I don't want to have to do that 3-hour test. That just seems like a lot. And for Cyber Monday and Black Friday, we ordered our crib, a dresser, and a really big area rug. So I feel like I finally ordered something for the baby. Before then, I hadn't gotten anything. Like, I still haven't even bought an outfit yet. I just feel like I'll just wait till my shower. But I have finished my registry. I had so much fun doing registry. I did so much research, like going into the registry of like what I needed, what I didn't need. I'd love to do another video for that, but I registered at Bye Bye Baby. They had basically everything I need there. So I didn't want to confuse people and do multiple registries. And so I just did Bye Bye Baby, kept it simple, did a lot of stuff, simple, done. And so that's where I'm at. I can't wait to get into my 3rd trimester, the home stretch. I actually feel like I'm already in the home stretch, but, we're almost there. And, just getting really excited. We do have a name, which I may or may not reveal before I have the baby, but we'll see how I feel. I will show you the bump for 23 weeks. I've been really awful at doing like bump pictures or bump updates. So for weeks, I have one for 20 weeks that I'll insert a clip of now. But other than that, I haven't really kept up with the bump pictures. But at 23 weeks, I'll show you what it looks like now. I'm about to move and the microphone's going to be annoying, but this is what it looks like now. This is 23 weeks. So she's getting bigger. So that is it for my week 18 to 22 pregnancy update. Be sure to like and subscribe to my channel to continue with my pregnancy journey. I'll see you next time.